Let us turn to page 61. 61. Page 61. Okay, what we're going to read is the Sutra, Noble Mahana Sutra, Dependent Arising. This sutra, from this sutra, in fact, this sutra is something which the Buddha taught in the heaven, the realm of the god and goddesses. As we read, we can clearly see on the bigger picture of this sutra, and the idea is that for us, we need to learn how to be, in order to accomplish our goals, we need to learn how to be realistic. So what we said this morning, and even the earlier days as well, if we're hungry, we have to learn to go to kitchen. If you are sick, go to doctor. So this is known as the cause and effect relationship. You have to learn how to be confident with the cause and effect. So simply by, for example, learning physics all the time. Okay. Param and then Shiravla, this pen is too strong for you? No? Huh? I change?
I just wash my head, that's why. I wash my head, that's why it's not.
That makes sense. Thank you. The cause and effect. Yes, she is very realistic. Yes, not for any other reason, because her hair is still wet. Okay. So what I'm saying is that when you learn, finally, wherever in the world you are, we have to learn how the efficacy of the cause and effect. For example, you learn physics all the time. Don't imagine that you can become a Mozart. You're getting it? Why not? Subhashi, why not? It's very different. What the cause that you create and the result that you're expecting, these are very totally unrelated. Cause and effect, these are very unrelated. But playing music all the time, right? Don't expect that you become a Nobel laureate in physics. Don't expect it. Why? Why? Cause and effect. Music has nothing to do with physics. You getting it? If you want to practice music all the time, at the most you can expect yourself to become a second Mozart. Not Nobel laureate in physics. You're getting it? We should extremely be realistic and to become somebody who really checks the cause and effect. If anybody is talking where the cause and effect is defined, cause and effect is totally irrelevant, discard it. It will take you nowhere, right? Someone say, "Oh, come to our center. We will make you Nobel in physics, right? We'll make you a second Arya Nagarjuna. Come our center." And what we do, we teach meditation, single point meditation. With this, however 100 years you do this practice, you will never become the second Arya Nagarjuna. Arya Nagarjuna's text, look how sophisticated, philosophically sophisticated they are. You're getting it? So therefore, the thing is that in order to have a delicious meal, say Paramji, I request you to, tomorrow's the last day for us. We'll have a delicious meal together. So Paramji, you take the charge of making it delicious for all of us. So we have to provide something. We provide rice to you, right? What else you need? Oh, potato. We give you potato. Finish? These two, don't expect delicious meal coming out of that. You're getting it? What do you need, Paramji? Many things. You're getting it? Many things. Don't forget it. So enlightenment is more delicious than delicious meal. You need many things, right? Single point of meditation is required. Cognitive sharpness is required. Compassion, good heart is required. Then seeing the diversity of phenomena is required. Then the patience is required. All these good qualities are required. Not only one. We require many things. Don't expect that only with one factor to one factor, then every magic happens. It not happen. This is what we've learned. This is known as the cause-effect efficacy. Cause-effect efficacy. This is what we learned from the Noble Mahayana Sutra, dependent origin. This sutra. So Buddha taught, Ye dharma hetu prabhava. All these phenomena arise from their respective causes. Don't expect magic happening out of doing nothing. You're getting it? So this is the main message. And in this life, one thing which I would really encourage all of us to do, including myself, is that leave an imprint in the mind to not to go for blind faith. You getting it? Not to go for blind faith. Don't go for blind faith. Always look at the cause and effect relationship. Where the cause and effect relationship is defined, even if somebody tells you something amazing, right? Don't believe in this. Don't believe in this. You will end up nowhere. And so this is what I've been doing since time immemorial till now, believing in blind faith. Because of this, we have been suffering so much. Now, meeting with these teachings, like Noble Mahayana Sutra, Dependent Rising, Dharmadhatu, study this, get conviction this, and practice, awaken this Dharmadhatu on the basis of cause and effect, knowing the efficacy of the cause and effect. Okay, so with this in mind, the Buddha is placing so much importance for us to know the efficacy of cause and effect. Value the efficacy of the cause and effect. Don't go for blind faith. You're getting it? So this is what the Buddha emphasizes so much, to the extent that this mantra, all phenomena arise from the causes. And the causes are taught by the Tathagata. And how to bring in if you don't want the miseries, cut the cause of the miseries. How to cut the cause of miseries is also taught by the Tathagata. And how? You have to believe in the Tathagata. No. What the Buddha taught, take them, don't accept them easily. Don't reject them easily. Subject them to analysis. The Buddha taught the bhikshus and the wise people. Just as a goldsmith tests the purity of the gold by cutting, rubbing, and burning the gold, you should also examine my words and put them into practice, not simply because you respect me. Just follow this teaching. Subject analysis. Then when you get conviction, then you take them. So this is how the cause and effect. So this cause and effect, the understanding is so crucial for us to free ourselves from all the ensnarement, entanglements in samsara, to seek the liberation. So therefore the Buddha taught that this mantra, Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhu, even this, Buddha was extremely kind to just tell everything to us, how to make this happen, that people should gain conviction and cause and effect efficacy. So said that even when saying the best is, make this mantra alive in your own experience. That's what the Buddha taught is very true in this life. And then try to do everything to go in this direction. When the cause and effect is there, it makes sense. But the cause and effect is not there, it doesn't make sense. Okay, just discard it. So the Buddha said these things are so precious that Buddha even inspired what is known as the stupa, building stupas. Stupas. What is stupas? Stupas is the symbol of the Buddha's mind. Buddha doesn't mean Buddha Shakyamuni, my mind stupa. No. Anybody who becomes a Buddha, that is depicted in the form of stupa. And sometimes to remember the past arhats, somebody who has realized that the arhats, the high-level bodhisattvas, then the stupa is erected. In short, the stupa is symbolic of the Buddha's mind. Anybody who becomes a Buddha, your mind can be depicted in the form of stupa. So the Buddha taught the real stupa is where your mind becomes extremely sensible, which creates the platform, which creates the ground for you to go gade para samgade, and which with the false promise, nothing is going there. We continue to suffer. False promise meaning blind faith. Blind faith is a false promise. Oh, this saint has reached this enlightenment. This saint has reached this enlightenment. Who saw that? And is there rationality to say that this is true? What rationality do we have? If you don't have the rationality, how can you know that? How can you believe that this is true? So this is how people are being misled. And then we continue to suffer. As I said earlier, for example, if somebody levitates 2 feet high in the air for, say, 5 minutes, then traffic jam will happen, right? Traffic jam will happen. And then the BBC, CNN, everybody will come, right? And find all these people who come, millions of people come and leave. What they take, wow, there's nothing else. You're getting it? This is how we suffer. Why should we have to be unkind towards yourself? What is kind? What's unkind? Kind means somebody who go away from the miserable state. Unkind means those people who do not go away from the miserable state. Okay, so let's read this. Page 61. The Noble Mahayana Sutra, dependent arising. Homage to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Thus did I hear at one time. The Blessed One was in the realm of the 33 gods, seated on the throne of the Indra. With him were great hearers, such as the Venerable Ashvajit, Bodhisattva Mahasattva, such as Noble Maitreya, Noble Avalokiteshvara, and Vajrapani, who were adorned with immeasurable precious qualities, as well as various gods such as the great Brahma, who is the Lord of the Saha world, Narayana, the great Ishvara, Saghara, who is the chief of the gods, and the Panchasika, who is the king of the Gandharvas. On that occasion, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara rose from his seat and, having draped his upper robe over one shoulder, knelt down with his right knee on the peak of the Mount Meru, his palms together. He then bowed towards the Blessed One and addressed these words to him. Blessed One, these gods already wish to build a stupa. Now that they are present in this entourage, please teach them the Dharma in such a way so that the merit of Brahma will increase and the merit of the monks, nuns, laymen, women will increase much more than that of all types of beings in the world of gods. Maras, Brahma, and Indra, and including renunciants and Brahmins. At this, the Blessed One spoke the verses of dependent arising. Ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum tesham tathagato hyavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye swaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessational causes as well is taught by the great seer. Avalokiteshvara. It is like this. This dependent arising is the Dharmakaya of all the Buddhas. Okay. So from here now the Buddha is teaching us. Say, this is so precious, Ye Dharma mantra. Why? Because it teaches about the need for us to learn the efficacy of cause and effect. Always see the relationship between the cause and effect. That is so important. Then to value this understanding that we need to develop in this life. Develop in this life, that in the future lifetimes, you're born there, somebody tells you something blind faith. Oh, must be so great. No, right? It doesn't make sense. You're getting it? When somebody tells you something on blind faith, then it doesn't make sense, right? For example, like say in Tibet also, in all I'm sure in almost all countries, all religions, including Tibet, say there are so many comments. For example, one teacher, he stepped on the rock and he left the imprint there, and it's holy, right? Does it happen? It actually can happen. But all what people are saying, are they true? Many, for example, let's say that, okay, say one teacher said that the last 2 days ago when I was sleeping, I dreamed of the flying around Thosamling. Yes, you can dream. Anybody can dream. Yes, how many of you have dreamt of flying over, very different places? Lotusla, here, here, here. You have dreamt. And then the student, oh, holy, right? Then the student shares with his friends that my teacher said that 3 days ago he flew over to something. The word dream finished, gone. He flew over to something. Are you sure? Yeah, he told me. He told me. I'm the witness. He told me, right? And then somebody's going to write a biography of the teacher. And the teacher already left. He died, right? And then according to the words of his principal disciple, who was a witness, who requested the teacher to tell something about, his things. So the teacher said, confidentially, teacher told, confidentially, the word added. Confidentially, the teacher told him that in 3 days from that, I flew over to something, right? Right. And then all the people, okay, this teacher said, eat meat, right? Eat meat. No, this is not good teaching. No, he flew over to something. He performed he's a very powerful, enlightened person. No, are you sure he flew? Look at this, his biography. His biography, written, and they quoted his principal disciple, main disciple, right? This is how people are misled. You're getting it? So the best thing is cause and effect. Cause and effect is always efficacious. You don't have to have a blind faith in this. You're getting it? This is precious. So the Buddha said that this is so precious. Value this. Therefore, the Buddha taught the stupas are so valuable. If you want to build a stupa, not necessarily that you should be rich. Only if you are rich, you can build a stupa. No, even if you have nothing, you can still build a stupa, right? You can still build a stupa. So the Buddha taught how to build a stupa. A very simple stupa. Say you have any, say the small container, glass or what small container you have. So that becomes the body of the stupa. Right? And then the stupa, the most important part of the stupa is that there should be some essence which is so important. What is that? This teaching, Ye Dharma mantra, Ye Dharma. Because this teaching is special, not because of anything, it performs miracles. No, because it teaches us how to be realistic, cause and effect. Don't believe in blind faith. Go for the cause and effect relationship. So that mantra, so let's say this is like the main, the skeleton, the main vertebrate of the stupa. Put it inside, and this like a needle, tiny needle. You don't, even if you don't have anything, just needle as the backbone of the main mantra, and wind this up, or the like what do you call it? Roll the mantra along this and put the mantra inside this, and as a respect for this, then put a flower like this as a parasol, flower like this. This is stupa. This is best of the stupa. You getting it? This is what the Buddha taught. And in this connection, what I would say is that the real stupa is, this is symbolic. The real stupa is your mind. When your mind really feels the efficacy of the cause and effect, then Ye Dharma mantra becomes manifest within you. That mantra, you really get conviction in this. So with this conviction, that is a real stupa. You become a stupa. Because whatever you say, whatever you do, it goes in line with the cause and effect. You don't believe in any blind faith. So that way, whatever you do, you'll do something very practical. You're getting it? Okay. So with this, let's continue reading this, page 62. After the verse, the verse, let's read it once more. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation cause as well is taught by the great seer. Avalokiteshvara, it is like this. The dependent arising is the Dhammakaya of all the Buddhas. One who sees dependent arising sees the Tathagata. Avalokiteshvara, if a faithful son or a daughter of a noble family builds in a remote place a stupa the size of a gooseberry fruit, with a central pillar the size of a needle, and a parasol the size of a flower of the pagula tree, and inserts this verse of dependent arising, which is the Dharmadhatu, he or she will generate the merit of Brahma. When such persons pass on from here and die, they will be reborn in the world of Brahma. When they pass on from there and die, they will be reborn with fortunes equaling those of the gods of the pure abodes. After the Blessed One had spoken these words, the hearers, bodhisattvas, and the whole assembly, and the universe of gods, humans, asuras, and gandharvas will rejoice and praise his teaching. Okay. So this blind faith and the blind faith and the cause and effect. I'll just share you a very interesting anecdote. What is that? Blind faith and the belief in cause and effect, right? Cause and effect is cause and effect. There was one girl, and who was already in okay, and she has little conflict with her parents because she's a Buddhist and her parents are Christians. Little conflict there. Not a conflict, because the parents are not happy that the daughter is Buddhist. Then I know that she's feeling so uncomfortable being in the home. So with the best of intention to help the girl, I told the girl that I'd like to meet your father, particularly the father. I'd like to meet your father. The girl freaked and said that, no, my father will not accept you. I said, don't worry. Your job is to send a message. Your father's job is to say no. My job is to make the request. You getting it? My job is to make the request. Your job is to pass a message. And your father's job is to say yes, no. Finish. What's the problem? Yes, no, it's not your job. It's your father's job. Your job is just send a message, pass a message. Then she said, okay. Then she passed it. Then in 2 days she came. Told me, Geshe, my father's not happy. She rejects. Perfectly well. I did my job. I made the request. You did the job. You passed the message. Your father did the job. Said no. Finish. No regret. The next year, I told the girl once more, I'd like to meet your father. She freaked even more because of her last year's experience. She said, no, Geshe. I said, no, you do your job. I'm doing my job to send a message. You do your job. What is your job? Pass the message. Your father will do the job. Say yes, no. Done. Right? Why you are interrupting your father's responsibility? It's your father's responsibility to say no, yes. Your job is just to send a message. Send a message. Then said, okay. In 2 days' time, she was surprised. She said, Geshe, my father accepted. Of course, I gave him 1 year to think. I gave him 1 year to think. I have this patience to wait for the answer for 1 year. You're getting it? I know that he will say yes after 1 year. Why? In 1 year, he was subconsciously thinking, oh, I said, no, it's not good. But if I say yes, then what he may say Buddhism is the best religion. Then what I will say, I'll say Christianity is the best religion. Then if I say no, Christian is not best religion, then I'll say get out. Right? All these were going in his mind. And finally he felt so comfortable. 1 year, right? If this happens, then I should say like this. If that happens, I should like this. Then finally, we met in the same bench in their house. Octopus said, he started his conversation saying that Christianity is the best religion in the world. And I said, yes. If I said no, all my 1 year effort is gone. He would say, get out, right? I said, yes. Of course, look at education. Christianity is the best. Look at the health, medical health. Christianity is the best. Look at charity. Christianity is the best. There's no religion compared with Christianity. Okay. So then he said that Nobody can intrude in the words of the God. I said, yes, of course. Right? If I said no, again, get out. So I said, yes, of course. Yes, of course. Nobody can intrude the words of the God. So whatever God says, yeah, we have to follow. And then then he said that it was the year when His Holiness the Dalai Lama devolved his political power. He gave up the political power. And he read in the newspaper, he got it. He said that it's so good that Dalai Lama devolved his political power. I said, yes, very good. And then he said, religious people, spiritual people should not be in politics. I said, yes, true, yes. Then it was already like 1.5 hours saying yes, right? So now it's my turn. Right? It's my turn because now he feels already comfortable. He got 1.5 hours with me. He was already comfortable with me. So now it's my turn. Then I said that Obama, then the president of America, I said, I personally believe that Obama is a very religious person, spiritual person. He said, yes, he's very religious. Then I told them, today the Obama is like the king of the world. The president of America is like the king of the world. He can make the world move anywhere. Obama is like the king of the world today. He said, yes. Imagine if Obama does not believe in spirituality. Today, he can just damage the world like skeptic, just damage the world here and there, damage the world altogether. And he said, yes, that's very true. Then I said, therefore, spiritual people should be in politics. He said that he did not really think about these things. He said, oh, you are very smart. Because I said something which he agreed, which actually contradicts with his own statement. That spiritual people should not be in politics. So after a while, then he felt so comfortable. Now he has one uneasiness in his mind. That is his daughter not getting married. So, okay, this is a man who my daughter trusts so much. Now, this is a man now who this daughter is talking about my teacher, my teacher all the time. Now this is one. Now what benefit I take from him? Right? I would use him to make the girl get married. Right? Otherwise this girl is not listening to me. Then he said, what is this girl? Right? I know what he's saying. What is this girl? The moment he said, what is this girl doing? I know what he's saying. Right? What happened? I asked, what happened? This girl, she's already getting age, she's not getting married. I said that, don't intrude in the will of the God. God does not want her to get married at this age. And you are intruding God's will. Then she said that, but she's my daughter. When he said, she's my daughter means cause and effect. Right? So, nobody should intrude in God's will. That is blind faith. You're getting it? Now, when it comes to the general presentation, is blind faith works. When it's a personal, real, concrete personal thing, very practical, cause and effect. You're getting it? This is contradictory. This is contradictory. Yeah. Okay, this is just a little digression. Okay, so now, end of the story is that don't hold on to blind faith. You getting it? And if they say, be very genuine. Many people, they hold on to blind faith simply because it's a tradition that I'm following. And then deep inside is very different. What they do is very different. They don't believe in this. With the personal matters, they don't believe. Somebody contradicts one's religion, they fight. This is a contradiction. So in a way, it doesn't matter what religion that you accept. The point is that you should become a happier and happier person. You should go for the fearlessness and infinite happiness. It's not about religion. You're getting it? So whatever tradition that you follow, whatever thing that you do, if it takes you closer towards fearlessness and happiness, that is to be adopted. This is wise person. It doesn't matter what religion. So what can take you there is only if you are realistic. In other words, Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava, this is teaching us how we should be realistic, not be blind faith followers. With this message. Okay, now in praise of dependent origination, the which I promised, because why I made this promise is because that this text is so precious, and I told you that His Holiness the Dalai Lama actually literally taught this for 2.5 hours. And this is so precious text. And page 104. Okay. And since that we have already laid the ground, we've already laid the ground on the concept of emptiness. Okay. Yes. Because we have already laid the ground, now it becomes easy for us. Otherwise, to teach this will take minimum 4 or 5 days. You're getting it? For the people, for the general audience to understand something, it'll take minimum 4 or 5 days. But here, we can do it, most likely we can finish one session. Because you already have the ground. You have got on ground on the emptiness. It becomes very easy for us. Okay. And I told you that this is composed by Lama Tsongkhapa when? When did he compose this short text? You remember? After having the realization of having the authentic realization of emptiness, direct, not too sure. After having the authentic understanding of emptiness as advised by the Arya Manjushri, then he set for the 11-month retreat, and then he had this realization, and then before the realization, one night he had the dream of all the Narada masters who were related to the wisdom of emptiness teaching, like Arya Nagarjuna, the Buddhist Arya Deva, Acharya Chandrakirti, Acharya Buddha and Bodhisattva Shanti Deva, and so forth. And from there, one of the masters stood up. Who was that? Acharya Buddha. He stood up, and then he came to Arya Lama Tsongkhapa and gave a book to him. That was his dream. And the next day, he had a visitor, and the visitor actually offered a book to Lama Tsongkhapa. Lama opened the book. It was the same book composed by Acharya Buddha, who came in his dream. So, and then he read, because all these last many years plus, particularly the last 11 months, he was focused on the retreat, studying emptiness of the Indian masters, plus his meditation, plus accumulation merit and so forth. So then he had an extremely clear and authentic understanding of emptiness. So then he wrote this composition. Okay, so now I'm reading it. Explain this is pretty easy for us. Now, he who speaks on the basis of seeing the reality, of dependent origin, seeing emptiness, this makes him refers to the Buddha. This makes the Buddha the one who speaks on the basis of what he actually experienced. He actually saw that Buddha, him a knower, and the teacher unexcelled teacher. Because what he was teaching is all through his personal experience and actually seen the reality. I bow to you, O conqueror. Conqueror meaning one who has conquered the mental defilements of afflictive and cognitive obscurations. Very good. One who conquered the two mental defilements, you who saw dependent origination and taught it. Okay. Now for us, so see, what we don't want? We want miseries. We don't want miseries. We don't want miseries. We want happiness. All the whatever degenerations meaning the miseries, problems they have. Okay, how many have problems in your life, raise hands? How many have no problem in your lives, raise hands? We have problems. No problem. Are you sure? When I did not give the answer to you, you're not happy, right? Uh-huh.
No, don't. I have one problem.
Okay, so we all have problems. We all have problems. And if you think we have no problems, either you are living in the world of ignorance is bliss, ignorance is bliss, right? You don't know that you have a problem. When you have a problem, you complain. The moment that you pass the problem, right, you forgot. And then again, you're in bliss. Or you're already enlightened. Gulmohar, already enlightened, right? Not the ignorance bliss. Okay, so whatever number 2, whatever degeneration meaning all our problems, they are in the world. The root of all this is, all this, tell me, without reading this, tell me, root of all problems is self-grasping ignorance. It says, now it's very easy. The root of all these is ignorance. You thought that it is the dependent origination, the wisdom of the dependent origination, the seeing of which will undo this ignorance. 3. So how can an intelligent person, look, like they always emphasis on intelligent person. You got to get, in other words, the message is that don't be unintelligent, but don't be stupid person. What is stupid person? Believing blindly. You getting it? Don't follow blindly. So how can an intelligent person not comprehend that this path of dependent origination is the essential point of your teaching? That the Buddha appeared 2,500 years ago, and the core message of the Buddha is the message how to free the beings from miseries. And what is that message? The message of the wisdom of emptiness. So intelligent people will see that this is the core of the Buddha's teaching. So they will try to understand this rather than following the Buddha blindly. 3. So how can an intelligent person not comprehend that this path of dependent origination is the essential point of your teaching? You meaning you the Buddha. 4. This being so, who will find, O Savior, Savior referring to Buddha, that you are saving all sentient beings from miseries? A more wonderful way to praise you than to praise you for having taught this origination through dependent origination. Arya Nagarjuna, in all his the treatises, in all his the works, he never praised the Buddha for having performed miracle. Do you think that Buddha performed miracle? The Buddha did perform miracles so many times, but Arya Nagarjuna never praised the Buddha for performing miracles. But always Arya Nagarjuna praised the Buddha Shakyamuni for teaching dependent origination, teaching emptiness. Okay. Number 5. Whatsoever depends on conditions. So now, what is emptiness? What is dependent origination? Dependent origination and emptiness, these two are the two sides of the same coin. Let me repeat it. So what we learned is dependent origination equals, emptiness equals dependent origination, and dependent origin equals Burma, the middle way. Therefore, emptiness equals the middle way. This is what we learn. So here it says, number 5, whatsoever depends on conditions, dependent origin, dependent conditions, that is devoid of intrinsic existence. Dependent condition means not independent, not intrinsic existence. What excellent instruction can there be more amazing than this proclamation, where you taught that dependent origination and emptiness of intrinsic existence, these two are synonymous. Number 6. Now, on the contrary, okay, now the background that we require here, a little bit of background we require here, is that at the time of the Buddha, there were contemporary many traditions who believe in, who do not believe in, of course, till Buddha Shakyamuni came on the earth, nobody believed in the emptiness of intrinsic existence. Let me say this again. Till the Buddha appeared on this earth, nobody taught emptiness. Nobody believed in emptiness till the Buddha appeared on this earth. So all they taught in objective existence, true existence all the time. Plus, the contemporaries of the Buddha, they don't believe in dependent origins also. They don't believe in emptiness, they don't believe in dependent origination. This is one group of people. Now the second group of people, you remember the Buddha taught, Buddha first remained silent for how many days? Not teaching, not giving teachings? 49 days. So after 49 days, at the request of the Indra and Brahma, the kings of the god and goddesses, and finally Buddha started to give the teachings. On what basis? On the basis of the steps. What steps? 4 steps. What are they? Huh? Hey, what happened? 4 steps. Vaibhashika, Sautrantika, Chidamatra, and Madhyamaka. You're getting it? Okay. If this group today, I'll not mind. Next time, if the same group comes, I say, if you don't have Vaibhashika, Sautrantika, you'll be under penalty. You're getting it? Today you are exempted, right? Okay. So, Vaibhashika, Sautrantika, Chittamatra, and Madhyamaka for steps. So, because of these steps, within Buddhism, within the followers of Buddha, again we see 2 groups. One group who does not accept emptiness of objective existence, who does not accept emptiness of intrinsic, who does not accept emptiness, and who accept dependent origination. You're getting it? And the contemporary Buddhas, not following Buddha, they don't accept emptiness, they don't accept dependent origination. This is one group who do not accept both. Now within the Buddhas, the followers, we see that one group, they does not accept emptiness, they accept dependent origination. And the Madhyamaka accepts both. You're getting it? Okay. So now let's see. Number 6. By grasping at it, it refers to dependent origination, which is the Buddhists who accept dependent origination but don't accept emptiness. By grasping at dependent origination, the childish meaning that Buddhists, who are they? Vaibhashika, Sautrantika, Chittamatra, and Savatantrika Madhyamaka. They strengthen bondage to extreme views. What are extreme views? Extreme view of absolutism. Okay, is there anybody who likes to tell me what do you understand by extreme of absolutism? Anyone? Anyone? Of course, everything exists. This is not extreme. Anyone? Okay, Madhavji?
Hold on to a view that everything exists objectively.
Yes. Holding on to the belief that everything exists objectively. You're getting it? That is the extreme of absolutism. So, the Buddhists, who are not the Madhyamakas, they believe that everything exists objectively. So, this is extreme. And they also accept dependent origination. So, now look, for Madhyamakas, they see emptiness and dependent origination mean the same. For the lower Buddhist schools, they say that no, these two are not synonymous. Dependent origination and objective existence, these two are synonymous. They go the opposite. You getting it? Okay. So it says by grasping at it, what is that? It refers to dependent origination, the childish, those people who accept dependent origination, not accepting emptiness, strengthen bondage through extreme views, objective existence. For the wise people, this very fact, which very fact? Fact of dependent origination is the doorway to cut free from the narrative elaborations of objective existence. Okay. So how many of you are thus far okay? You could follow this? Raise hands. How many of you could follow this? Raise hands. Raise hands. You're good. Number 7. Since this teaching is not seen elsewhere, this teaching on emptiness and dependent origin being harmonious, this teaching is not seen elsewhere. You, the Buddha, you alone are the teacher. Like calling a fox a lion for a Tirthika meaning the contemporary teachers who do not accept emptiness, who do not accept dependent origin. For these Tirthikas, they say respecting them as a teacher is a word of flattery. Number 8, because you taught dependent origination, because you taught emptiness, you are a wondrous teacher, wondrous refuge, wondrous speaker, wondrous savior. I pay homage to the teacher, the Buddha, who taught well dependent origination. Number 9, to help heal sentient beings, O benefactor, benefactor referring to Buddha, you have taught the peerless reason to ascertain emptiness. Okay, so for us, we taught about emptiness of objective existence. And what reason we give? The reason of 4 essentials. You remember? Reason 4 essential. Reason 4 essential is actually grounded on the reason of dependent origination. Dependent on paths, dependent on the causes, dependent on the mental imputation, right? So the reason of dependent origination given in order to reinforce our understanding of emptiness. Okay. To help, number 9, to help heal sentient beings, O benefactor, you have taught the peerless reason of dependent reason. Which reason? Of dependent origination to ascertain emptiness. Since things are dependent originated, therefore they are empty of objective existence. You agree? You agree? If yes, say yes. Good. Okay. O benefit, you taught the peerless reason to ascertain emptiness, the heart of the teaching. Understand emptiness, the heart of the teaching. Why? Anyone? Why this is referred to as the heart of the teaching? Why not the miracle that the Buddha performed as the heart? Okay, Tin Shambhala. Because that is the one which cuts our miseries, the root of the miseries. So we are freed. And this is what we're seeking. Number 10. This way of dependent origination, those who perceive, okay, this is little tricky. It's not difficult for you. With the earlier many days of introduction, is not difficult. Just pay attention and don't give up easily. Okay. So here, this way of dependent origination, those who perceive it as contradictory. Number 1, those who perceive it as unestablished. You are getting it? Okay, what are these 2 groups? There are 2 groups there. So 1, I say that nothing exists objectively real. And then, let's put it like this. Let's put it like this. You made a statement. After retreat, you go out. After retreat, then you go to your respective places. And then your mother, your father, your brother, they ask you, what did you learn? I learned that nothing exists objectively, right? How do you know nothing is objective? Because everything is dependent originated. You're getting it? Okay. So that nothing exists objectively, everything is empty of objective reality. Why? Because everything is dependent originated. You're getting it? Okay. So now you say, okay, let's say that everything, this is the subject. Everything is empty of objective existence. This is your thesis. Why? Then you have to give the premise, the reason. Because everything is everything is dependent originate. Let me repeat it. Everything, number 2 is the predicate. Everything is empty of objective existence. Why? Then you have to give reason to the premise. Because everything is dependent originate reason. So it's contradictory and unestablished. So one group says that no, the reason is not established. Reason is unestablished, meaning that everything is not dependent originated. Who says it? Who says it? Huh? Who says it? I already said it in this very class. Not this class, in this session. Huh? Who said that? Everything is not dependent origination. Who said it? Philip. Tirthikas mean the contemporary traditions, non-Buddhist traditions. Buddha's contemporary non-Buddhist traditions, they don't believe in emptiness, they don't believe in dependent origination. You're getting it? So unestablished, who said it? The Tirthikas. Non-Buddhist is the traditions contemporary to the Buddha. Tirthikas, they say unestablished. Now contradictory means that, okay, let me say this again. Everything is empty of objective existence. Why? Right? So let's say Vaibhashika, Sautrantika, Chittamatra, if you tell them nothing exists objectively, then what will they say? What will they say first? Well, say what I'm saying is that if you tell them, listen, if you tell them, tell who? Vaibhashika, Sautrantika, Chittamatra, right? If you tell them that nothing exists objectively, what will they say? Not true. Not true. And why? Right? Not true and why? In the first, it's not true. And if you insist, why? Right? Then you say what? Because everything is dependent originated. Then what will they say? It is contradictory. What is dependent originated should be objectively real. You're getting it? What is dependent originated should be objectively real. The lower schools, they said that everything exists objectively. What is dependent originated should be objectively real. They should not be empty of objective reality. So this is contradictory. Okay, let me say that person A is extremely divine and good. And you're curious. You will say what? What will you say? Doratam, what will you say? If I say person is so good, you're looking for a staff. I say person is extremely good, is very competent for extremely good.
In what field? Good in what field?
What you are looking for? No, you are looking for a person for a job in your company, right? A particular job. You know that you requested me to look for a person. I saw person A. Person is amazing, teamwork, amazing, so good. And then you say, in what way he's good, right? Then I have to give reason why he's good. I would say that because he's very selfish. He's very selfish and he's very ignorant. Then what do you say? This is contradictory. You're getting it? If somebody is very selfish and ignorant, should not be good. This is contradictory. You agree? Hey, what happened? If you agree, just say yes. Right? Okay. So likewise, from your point of view, if something is dependent originate, it should be empty of objective existence, or it should be objectively existent. Should be for you. For you, hey, you who studied with me the last 9 days. Right? Saying, very innocently saying, dependent origin should be objectively existent. Right? So the 9 days is just waste. You're getting it? Oh, okay, what happened? It's a little hot. Okay. So the lower schools will say what? Lower schools will say, if things are dependent originate, then things should be objective real. And if you say no, it should be empty of objective reality because things are dependent originate, they will say this is contradictory. You're getting it? Okay, good. Relatively easy. Okay. So verse number 10. This way of dependent origination, those who perceive it as contradictory, who's that? Lower schools, low Buddhist schools, or as unestablished. Contemporary Buddha's contemporaries who are non-Buddhist. How can they comprehend your system? Which system? The system of the emptiness of objective existence, emptiness. Okay. Number 10. This way of dependent origination, those who perceive it as contradictory are the Buddhist lower schools, or as unestablished, the non-Buddhist schools. How can they comprehend your system? Which system? System of the teaching on emptiness of objective existence. System of the teaching on emptiness. 11. For you meaning with respect to you, your true understanding or your true wisdom is that when one sees emptiness in terms of emptiness and dependent origination to mean the same. When one sees emptiness in terms of or in the form of or emptiness in terms of the meaning of dependent origination, then being devoid of intrinsic existence and possessing valid functions do not contradict. So empty of Intrinsic existence meaning empty of objective existence on the one hand. Other hand, functionality. These two are not contradictory. Emptiness and dependent origination, these two are not contradictory. So, they then being devoid of intrinsic existence, meaning empty of intrinsic existence, and possessing valid functions, the two do not contradict. You agree? Agree on? Okay, you agree. Now 12. 12 is the position of the opponents who do not accept this. Whereas when one sees the opposite, meaning that the lower schools would say that whatever exists should exist objectively. Let me repeat it. Whatever exists should exist objectively, meaning that existence and objective existence, these two are synonymous for the lower schools. Existence and objective existence, these two are synonymous. If something exists, it should exist objectively, and if it does not exist objectively, it should not exist at all. You're getting it? If it does not exist objectively, it should not exist at all for the lower schools. Number 12. So the opponents take it as, whereas one sees the opposite, since there can be no function in emptiness. If there is functions, it should not be empty of objective reality. If it is empty, it should have no function. This is the lower school's position. Whereas when one sees the opposite, since there can be no function in emptiness, no emptiness in what is function, and whosoever believes in this position, one falls into a dreadful abyss. What is abyss? Abyss, chasm, fall of the abyss, fall of the chasm. Okay, there is nihilism. Yeah, okay. 13. Therefore, in your teaching, seeing dependent origination is hailed, is praised. Anybody who sees dependent origination, this is so precious. And that too, how to see dependent origination, lower schools also so understand, the lower schools also accept dependent origination. But it should be where that too not as an utter non-existence. Utter non-existence is what? Nihilism, nor as an intrinsic existence. Intrinsic existence is absolutism. So when you say dependent origination, it must be freed from these two extremes, right? Okay, is there anybody who can share with us how dependent origination equals the middle way? So this is talking about the middle way. How dependent origination equals the middle way? Anyone? You heard it before? You heard it, or we learned it, or we didn't learn it? I think that part is missing. We did not cover it. Huh? No. Did we cover this last time? I think I forgot to cover it. Huh? I covered, not cover it. Are you sure?
Yes.
When we look at the face, they all look so blank. It's so like they never heard it before. So when did we cover it, Philip?
You equated emptiness and origination with middle way.
Say it again.
You equated emptiness with middle way and with origination.
Okay, the Philip's version is slightly different. What is emptiness and middle way and dependent origination? This is Philip's version, right? You said it like this.
Well, it's interchangeable.
No. Okay, flexible. So how should be how I put? Emptiness equals dependent origination, and dependent origination equals the middle way. We studied it, right? Okay, is there anybody who can explain? So the first part is emptiness equals dependent origin. That is done. Is there anybody who would like to explain how dependent origin equals the middle way? Anyone? Yes. Okay, anyone else? Anyone? Okay, Dr. Duran.
Dependent origination has two sides, dependent and origination.
Very precise. Wow. It's just, you look. My mind is simply is uplifted.
Dependent,
Dependent origin, look how precise. Dependent origination is two sides. Continue, please.
dependent rejects independence, so it rejects absolutism. Origination, it means that there's something that comes or originates from something, so it rejects nihilism. And since it rejects the two extremes, it's called the middle way.
Wonderful. Amazing. So precise. Wow. It gives me a fresh air. Okay. Thank you. Now I can run for the next another 2 days. Otherwise, I'm about to collapse. Okay. Okay, thank you. In other words, dependent origination. Dependent origination, it avoids two extremes, therefore it should be the middle way. So when you say that understand dependent origination, you must, what is expected here is that you avoid two extremes. So not that you fall into absolutism, like the lower schools. They accept dependent origination but fall into absolutism, that they believe that everything is objectively real. This is absolutism. Okay. 13. Therefore, in your teaching, seeing dependent origination is hailed, that too, not as an utter non-existence, meaning that it should not be the extreme of non-existence, nor as an intrinsic existence. It should not fall the extreme of absolutism. It should be free from the two extremes. Very good. 14. Okay. Now, if you believe in intrinsic the existence or objective existence, what's the problem? It says that non-contingent means what is not dependent. Not dependent is independent. Independent, absolute, objective real. If there's objective reality or non-contingent or the independent phenomena, it should be like a sky flower. Why sky flower? You cannot have a sky flower hanging in the air. You cannot have it. Why? If the flower is if you put a flower in the air, it'll fall down. It will not remain suspended in the air. Why not? Because they will be pulled by the gravity, dependent origination, right? Dependent origination. If it is independent, if it doesn't depend on the gravity, then you put in the air, it should stay in the air, in the sky. So therefore, there's no sky flower there. So therefore, there's no independent reality, non-contingent flower, non-contingent phenomena. Number 14. The non-contingent is like a sky flower. Hence, there is nothing that is not dependent. So therefore, if there is non-contingent, the dependent, which is dependent. If there's the independent phenomena, it should be like a sky flower. Since you don't find any sky flower, so everything should be dependent. Hence, there's nothing that is not dependent. If things exist through their essence, now if something exists from its own essence meaning independence, the dependence on causes and conditions for the existence is a contradiction. You cannot depend on anything else. If it has some essence, intrinsic existence, objective independent existence, then it contradicts with dependency on cause and effect. Yes. If things exist through their essence, meaning if things exist independently, then it should not be dependent. It shouldn't depend on causes and conditions. Their dependence on causes and conditions for the existence is a contradiction. 15. Therefore, since no phenomena exists other than origination through dependence, meaning that since everything exists through dependent origination, therefore no phenomena exists other than being devoid meaning empty of intrinsic existence you taught. So therefore, that emptiness of intrinsic existence, emptiness of intrinsic existence, emptiness of objective existence, these two are synonymous. Emptiness of intrinsic existence and dependent origination, these two are compatible. These two are harmony or harmonious. 16. Because intrinsic nature if intrinsic existence is there, what is intrinsic nature? Anyone? What is intrinsic nature? Varma?
That the things exist from his own side.
Something which exists from its own side, something which exists independently. Okay, objective existence. If intrinsic existence is there, then nothing should be able to negate it. You cannot negate the intrinsic existence. If phenomena did possess some intrinsic nature, then nirvana would not be possible. Why nirvana is not possible? Anyone? Okay, by the way, how many of you have attained nirvana? No one. So how many have not attained nirvana? Raise hands. How many have not attained liberation from the tears of samsara? Okay. And how many you want to be liberated from the tears of samsara? Okay. If you want to be liberated from the tears of samsara, right? What should we do? We have to change from samsara to nirvana, right? This change, how can the change be introduced? By introducing causes and conditions. If something is independent, then cause and condition cannot do anything. So if samsara, will remain in samsara continuously. If it's nirvana, will remain in nirvana continuously. So therefore, if the change is required, it should have the capacity, should have the possibility for the cause and effect to play on this. For that, dependency should be the factor. If the dependency is not there, then nothing can be changed. It should be absolute. If it's absolute, if you're samsara, always samsara. No liberation is, no nirvana is possible. Okay. 16. Because intrinsic nature cannot be negated. If intrinsic nature is there, it cannot be negated. Intrinsic samsara should always be samsara. In case a phenomena did possess some intrinsic nature. In which case, nirvana would become impossible. 1. And then number 2, what is the ultimate liberation? Ultimate liberation is waking up from the sleep of ignorance. You agree? Waking up from sleep of ignorance means all the contents of the dream will dissolve. All the contents of the dream, meaning all the elaborations in the dream will dissolve. You're getting it? All the elaborations of the dream will dissolve when you wake up. You agree? All the elaborations, details in the dream, the moment you wake up, they all dissolve. You're getting it? Okay. So, elaboration could not be ceased. If things exist objectively, then the details that you see around conventional realities, they will not dissolve. Okay. Like a small children's game. You remember that? Role play, small children's game. When we are in the peak of this game, right? Then the king, who was the king? What called? Tenzi Sherullah. My Tenzi was king, and who was minister?
This kid.
Okay, right. This kid was, and this kid was the what? Assistant minister? Miguel, right? And who picked up the chocolates? No, who collected the chocolates? Miguel, right? Yes, Miguel. And who was rebellious? This chocolate is, my mother sent it for me. Who is that? Dawa? No, you gave. Okay, Ivana. Okay. Okay. So the point is that these are the elaborations, that there's no king, but we created a convention for king, and we have to follow this convention. There's no minister, we have to follow the minister. And there's no the what? Deputy Minister of Tax. Again, we create this convention. So as long as this dream lasts, the play lasts, then the Michael has a tremendous power, right? And likewise, our main minister also has tremendous power, and king, of course. But the moment the game is over, who's the king? Dissolves. Who is the minister? Dissolves. Who are the subjects? Ministers. They dissolve. And your chocolates are your chocolates. It's not a tax. You're getting it? All these concepts dissolve when the game finishes. Right? Small children's game finishes. So likewise, all these elaborations, they are like elaborations that we create. All these distinctions we create, these are like the games of the small children. When you stop the game, all these elaborations stop. So these elaborations stop only if they are not real. Okay, this game is real or not real? Hey, Mikhail, this game is real or not real? It's not real. Because it's not real, it can stop. You're getting it? If it's real, it can't be stopped. Real means objectively real. It'll just keep going like this. Okay. Which verse we're reading? 16 finish. 16 because intrinsic 16 because the intrinsic nature cannot be negated if phenomena did possess some intrinsic nature, because of which nirvana would become impossible. And the elaborations, the conventions that we created, this cannot be seized. They will continue. Conventions of miseries will continue in case if things exist objectively. This is what you taught, you the Buddha taught. 17. Therefore, who could challenge you the Buddha, who proclaim with lion's roar? Lion's roar meaning is all very real, is all very true. It's not faulty or blind faith based. Lion's roar, which means so much confidence. You who proclaim with lion's roar in the assembly of learned ones, not the unlearned ones. Learned ones meaning intelligent people. You getting it? Intelligent people. Learned ones repeatedly that everything is utterly free of intrinsic nature. What is meant by utterly free of intrinsic nature? Anyone? What is meant by utterly free of intrinsic nature? Hey, what is meant by utterly free of intrinsic nature? What do you mean by free of intrinsic nature? Maho?
That everything is objectively free of objectively existence.
What do you mean by free? What is this word free? It does not. It's empty. It is not. You're getting it? If free. This is meaning. Free means I'm free now. Right? No. What you said is perfectly correct. Why I'm saying this, some people, free, the moment the word is changed from empty to free, again we're confused. You got it? So we need help of Maho. And so you explained it perfectly good. Yeah. Okay. So utterly free of intrinsic nature means that everything is empty of intrinsic nature. 18. That there's no intrinsic. So we have to go till about like what? Verse like 24. Like 24, that is the little complicated part, and the later is very easy. Okay. So we're almost there. 18. That the fact that we're able to flow up to this point very easily is because we have already learned about emptiness before the last few days. You're getting, because of this is easy now. Otherwise, it will not flow that fast. If I go that fast, most of you will have double lashes. So I don't say any double lashes now. You're getting it? I don't say any double lashes. Okay, good. 18. That there's no intrinsic existence at all, and that all functions as this arising depends on that. In other words, there's no intrinsic existence, what? Emptiness. And that all functions as the arising depends on that is dependent origination. Emptiness, dependent origination. What need is there to say that these two converge? Converge meaning they are compatible. They're compatible, they agree. Converge without conflict, in harmony. 19. It is through the reason of dependent origination that one does not lean towards the extreme. How many understood this line? How many of you understood line? Okay, the Dr. Dorin, she explained so well, right? Others? How many of you understood this line with hands? Good. So now this is the benefit. We have studied is easy for us. 19. It is through the reason of dependent origination that one does not lean towards the extreme, which means that we don't fall under the two extremes. That you, the Savior, have declared this excellently is the source of your unexcelled speech. That the Buddha, your teaching is so unexcelled. It is so excellent. It's because of this reason that you explain emptiness and dependent origination as the two as harmonious. 20. All of this is devoid of essence. All of this devoid of essence, it helps us free from which extreme? All of this is devoid of essence, meaning empty of objective existence. It frees us from extreme of absolutism. Very good. And from this arises that effect. It frees us from which? Nihilism. Very good. These two certainties, these two realities, certainties meaning these two realities, both are true, both are real, both are realities. These two realities complement each other. They don't contradict each other with no contradiction at all. What is more amazing than this? What is more marvelous than this? If one praises you in this manner, this is real praise, otherwise not. So, look, Lama Tsongkhapa is saying that if somebody praises a Buddha for teaching emptiness, dependent origination as harmonious, if this is how somebody praises the Buddha, this is real praise. Otherwise, Buddha, you perform miracle and so forth. This is a praise, but this is not real praise for the intelligent people. Okay. Okay, next, number 22. So now this says, what's the problem? If you cannot see the emptiness and dependent origination as the two sides of the same coin. If you don't see these two as harmonious, what's the problem? Number 22 is with the non-Buddhist tradition, who do not believe in emptiness, who do not believe in dependent origination. 22. Being enslaved by ignorance, those who fiercely oppose you meaning the non-Buddhists who opposed you for what? Not accepting emptiness, not accepting dependent origination. This Lama Tsongkhapa says that this does not really surprises me, because they openly say that we don't agree with you, the Buddha. So that's fine. That's your point of view. The Lama Tsongkhapa said that I'm not really surprised by this. Being enslaved by 22, being enslaved by ignorance, those who fiercely oppose you. What is so astonishing about them being unable to bear the sound of no intrinsic? For them, they said that no, emptiness, intrinsic existence doesn't mean any sense. That's fine. They don't accept emptiness. They don't accept dependence. That's fine. It's your point of view. 23. Now, Lama Tsongkhapa said, but the Buddhist traditions who accept dependent origination and not accepting emptiness, this is strange. You're getting it? Okay, let's see. 24. The Buddhist traditions, lower schools. But having accepted dependent origination, you, the lower schools, you accept dependent origination, the precious treasure of your speech. This is what you accept. But you cannot tolerate the roar of emptiness. You cannot understand, you don't accept the emptiness, roar of emptiness. What is roar of emptiness? Anyone? Huh? What do you understand by this word, the roar of emptiness? Sandeep? No? Anyone? Yes. Roar. Emptiness is true nature, right? And why this word roar is added? What is meant by roar? Huh? Who said it? Oh, Sandeep. Roar is there's the connotation of the power, the roar of the lion, right? It's very scary. So the roar of emptiness, meaning that then they say confidence, right? The lions, when they move in the jungle, how do they move? Do they move like this, or do they move like this very confidently? Very confidently. Whereas the deers, when they move, how do they move? Confidently or looking here and there with fear. So the roar has a connotation, confidence, the power, and the confidence, right? Why power and confidence? Because this is extremely true reality, right? Nobody can reject it. Okay. So lower Buddhist schools, they accept dependent origination, but they cannot accept the roar of emptiness. They're not tolerating the roar of emptiness. This I find amazing indeed. This is contradictory. I really could not understand it. 24. Why Lama Tsongkhapa says that I cannot understand? This is why I don't really, I find it amazing, not in a pleasant way. Unpleasant amaze. Why? Because why? Because, okay, first I explain this and then read this later. It'll be easier for us. Because finally, why you are following the Buddha? Low schools, why you are following the Buddha? For what? For to be liberated from the fears of life, yes, and to attain Buddhahood. For that you have to get rid of all the mental defilements. You have to get rid of the root of the mental defilements. And root of mental defilements is self-grasping ignorance. Ignorance believing things objective real. And to remove this, you have to see the emptiness of objective reality, emptiness of independent existence. To understand this, you have to know dependent origination. You understand dependent origin in order to understand the emptiness of independent existence, so that your miseries will go away. This is the purpose, right? So what takes us to understand emptiness of objective existence? The reason of dependent origination. So this is the teaching, dependent origin teaching, in order to take us to understand the emptiness, so that you will be liberated. You're getting it? Now this dependent origination is the only gateway for us to understand emptiness. So if you accept dependent origination and not reject emptiness, you are, in a way, you are, say, misusing the door to emptiness. So you use the door in order to, you use the entry to close the door to emptiness. You use the entry gate of the dependent origination to close nirvana, to shut down the nirvana, because without the wisdom of emptiness, nirvana is impossible. So this is a contradiction. Okay, let's see. 24. The door that leads to no intrinsic existence. What is no intrinsic existence? Emptiness of objective existence. The door, only entrance, the door that leads to the emptiness of objective existence is the, understand, dependent origin, the unexcelled door of dependent origination. Through its name alone, and you accept dependent origination but don't accept emptiness of intrinsic reality, through its name alone, its name meaning it's the dependent origination name alone, if one grasps, you accept dependent origination and you grasp at intrinsic existence, objective existence, rather than seeing emptiness of objective existence, you grasp at intrinsic existence. Now this person who lacks the unraveled entrance, which entrance? Entrance to understand emptiness, entrance well traveled by noble ones. Noble ones meaning Aryas. Who are the Aryas?
Those who have seen emptiness directly.
Aryas, who are the Aryas?
Beings who have seen emptiness.
The beings who have seen emptiness directly. These are the Arya, intelligent Arya beings. So, dependent origination, the entrance used by all the Arya beings to get to emptiness. And you, by using this dependent origination, you go the opposite direction. You, instead of emptiness of objective existence, you hold on to the objective existence. One grasps at intrinsic existence. Now this person, 25, now this person who lacks the unraveled entrance, well traveled by the noble ones, by what means should one guide this person, the lower schools, to the excellent path of emptiness that pleases the Buddha? So finish. With dependent origination, if that is the only gateway to take you to emptiness, and because of dependent origin, you go the opposite direction of instead of emptiness intrinsic existence, you accept intrinsic existence. Now there's no way. For example, say if you're suffering from tuberculosis, and then the rifampicin, ethambutol, isoniazid, you take these medicines and the tuberculosis becomes worse. Then what should we do? Say we are suffering from tuberculosis, and these are doctors. They give us the medicine. What antibiotics they give? Isoniazid, rifampicin, ethambutol. And I take this medicine, and my tuberculosis becomes worse. These are the antibiotics, particularly precisely to overcome tuberculosis. You getting it? And I take this antibiotic if the tuberculosis becomes worse. Now, finish. The doctors will give up. Do you know some cases, many cases? You must have heard such cases where the doctors give up on the patients. Resents? Who know about these things? Yes? Seniors know, the younger ones, you don't know, don't worry. Younger ones, you don't know, right? Doctors give up on the patients, right? You think that if it's a doctor, the biggest doctor, then you'll be cured. No, there are many cases where the doctors give up. The first time I was shocked when I was in my 20s. First time. So those in the 20s, you will come across these things. First time was, say there was one monk, senior monk, who had some problem, and his problem was not going away. And his main physician referred him to a radiologist. And the radiologist took a sample out of his lungs and sent it for, what do you call it, culture? The doctors, what is they? Tissue culture.
Culture and histology to check the cells.
Histology, the culture and histology. Then they, after 1 week, then he said they come after 1 week. After 1 week, I went there, and doctor he was in a state of, what do you call it? He was in a state of chill. He just gave me an envelope, said that, okay, take it. And he's literally very calm, peaceful. So nothing happened. He gave me the envelope and gave it to me and said that take a patient and give you medicines. I said, what, give you medicines? I'm not a doctor. He said, give him. What do you mean by give him medicines? You cannot give him medicine. He said, our medicine does not work. He said, our medicine, he's allopathic. He said, our medicine does not work. You give him medicines. In a very, what do you call, what's the English word? More than that, it's all like your medicine is very effective. Our medicine doesn't work. Your medicine is very effective. Give him medicine. What actually he was saying is that no hope. This is what he was saying. You're getting it? And I was confused. No doctor will say that mine one is inferior and go to the other tradition. Nobody will say this. And today he's saying that give your medicine, our medicine will not work. Right? In a very, what is that English word? He was in a state of chill.
Nonchalant. Nonchalant.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. So, why I said it? Okay. What I'm saying is that only cure. If the only cure, instead of curing it, if it harms, then it's no cure. If the medicine turns poison, there's no cure. You agree? So now in this case, those who advocate dependent origination and deliberately rejecting emptiness of objective existence, there's no cure now. So this, okay, 25, continuing from 24. Now this person, 25, who lacks the unraveled entrance, well traveled by the noble ones, by what means should one guide him to the excellent path that pleases you? No means is left now. No path is left now for that person. 26. Intrinsic nature. What is intrinsic nature? So now, the intrinsic nature for you meaning lower schools. Lower schools, you accepting dependent origination and accepting objective existence. This is contradictory. This is contradictory. This is what Lama was explaining. 26. These two are contradictory. You accepting intrinsic nature, you accept dependent. This is contradictory. How? Intrinsic nature means uncreated or non-contingent, not dependent. And dependent origination means contingent and create. Contingent meaning dependent. So what is dependent and what is non-dependent? They cannot coexist. These are contradictory. These two will not go together. They are not compatible. How can these two converge upon a single basis without contradiction? So this is a contradiction with the lower Buddhist schools. 27. Therefore, whatever originates, now what is your conclusion? Is that whatever originates dependently or dependent originated, though primordially free of intrinsic existence, primordially free of intrinsic meaning that nothing exists intrinsically since time immemorial, since beginningless time. But things are dependent originated, nothing exists, the truly real. Yet things appear as if they do exist, intrinsic existence. Therefore, the Buddha taught that all this is to be like illusion-like. Everything is illusion-like. How illusion-like? Illusion-like because they exist dependently, but they appear as independently real, object real. So there's contradiction between the appearance and the reality. So therefore, like illusion, everything there's a discrepancy between appearance and reality, therefore they should be like illusion. 28. Through this very fact, understand well the statement that in what you have taught, those opponents who challenge you cannot find faults in the Buddha's teachings that accords with the reason. 29. Why is this so? Because by declaring these, you, the Buddha, by declaring emptiness of intrinsic existence and, on the other hand, dependent origination, by declaring these two chances for reification. What's reification? Absolutism. Exaggerating what is non-existent as object real as existing object real. Reification is absolutism and denigration is nihilism. Chances for reification and denigration towards things seen and unseen are made most remote. 30. Verse 30. Through this very path of dependent origination, the rationale for your speech being peerless, conviction arises in me also that your other words are valid too. 31. Now is easy. You who speak excellently by seeing as it is, for those who train in your footsteps, all our miseries, degenerations, miseries will become remote. For the root, why? Because the root of all faults will be undone. What's the root of all faults? All problems? Self-grasping ignorance. Once that is gone, the iceberg on which all the buildings are stacked. When the iceberg melts, everything what is stacked above, all the miseries will dismantle. 32. But those who turn away from your teaching, though they may struggle for hardship for a long time, and those who turn away from your teaching, meaning those who believe in objective existence, those who don't believe in, those who don't accept dependent origination, but those who turn away from your teaching, though they may struggle with hardship for a long time, faults or demerits or degenerations, miseries increase evermore as it being called forth, for they make firm. Why? Because the root of all the miseries is self-grasping ignorance, and they make firm the view of the self, the intrinsic self. 33. Aha. When the wise comprehend the differences between these two, what you taught and what the non-Buddhist teachers taught, why would they not at that point revere you from the depths of their being? 34. Let alone your numerous teachings, even in the meaning of a small part, those who find ascertainment in a cursory way, cursory meaning it's shallow, even on the surface, if you get ascertainment, this brings supreme bliss to them as well. 35. Alas, my mind was defeated by ignorance. So in the earlier stage, before the Lama Tsongkhapa went for the 11-month retreat, my mind was defeated by ignorance. Though I've sought refuge for a long time in such an embodiment of excellence, I possess not a fraction of his qualities of the Buddha. 36. Nonetheless, before the stream of this life flowing towards death has come to cease, meaning that Lama Tsongkhapa, the author, saying that before I die, I'm able to get faith in this, meaning that I have, in a way, implicitly, what Lama Tsongkhapa is saying is that he has realized emptiness. You're getting it? It's a very implicit way of saying. He did not say that I realized emptiness directly. He says, nonetheless, before the stream of this life flowing towards the death has come to cease, that I found slight faith. Look, the humility, slight faith in you, that what you taught, emptiness, and that, oh, that's very true. Even this, I think, is fortunate. Okay. Among teachers, the teacher of dependent origination. Amongst wisdoms, the knowledge of dependent origination. You who are most excellent like the kings of the world, know this perfectly well, not others. 38. All that you have taught proceeds by way of dependent origination. All what the Buddha taught is all related to dependent origination. Dependent origination of cause and effect, dependent origination of the wholes depends on the parts, and dependent origination of mere mental designation. 38. All that you have taught proceeds by way of dependent origination. That too is done for the sake of nirvana. All this teaching of dependent origination is to liberate us from the tears of samsara. You have no deeds that do not bring peace to sentient beings. 39. How amazing! Your teaching such in whomsoever's ears it falls, they all attain peace. So who would not be honored to uphold your teaching? 40. It overcomes all opposing challenges. It is free from contradictions between the early and the latter paths. It grants fulfillment of being's two aims. What two aims? Ultimate benefit for others and ultimate benefit for yourself. Two aims. For this system, my joy increases evermore. 41. For its sake, you have given away. Now, for the Buddha, in order to understand this, get this emptiness, how long did the Buddha struggle? So Buddha struggled so many lifetimes. Not just this as a Prince Siddhartha, many lifetimes before. 41. For the sake of understanding emptiness, you have given away again and again over countless eons, sometimes your body, and others your life, as well as your loving kin and resource of wealth. 42. Seeing the qualities of this teaching pulls hard at your heart. And just like what a hook does to a fish, sad it is not to have heard this from you directly. So Lama Tsongkhapa is saying that I feel sad that I do not hear this teaching, amazing teaching. I could not get the opportunity to receive it directly from the Buddha. 43. The intensity of that sorrow that I do not receive this teaching directly from the Buddha, this sorrow does not let go of my mind, just like the mind of a mother constantly goes after her dear child. 44, 45. Here too, as I reflect on your words, then the Lama Tsongkhapa, he is now saying he was just creating a sense of being reminiscent of what the Buddha is like. So he was just imagining. Here too, as I reflect on your words, on your teachings, I think you are like the Buddha. In my mind, I get this impression, blazing with the glory of noble marks. You, the Buddha, with the 32 major marks, and hallowed 30 major marks and the 80 minor marks, and hallowed in the net of light rays. This teacher, the Buddha, in a voice of pristine melody, spoke thus in such a way. Instant such a reflection of the sage, the Buddha's form, appears in my mind. It soothes me. Just as the moonbeams heal a fever's pain. This excellent system, most marvelous. Some individuals who are not so learned have entangled it in utter confusion, just like the tangled balbaza grass. Seeing this situation, the author, Lama Tsongkhapa, strove with a multitude of efforts to follow after the learned ones, and sought your intention again and again. 48. At such times as I studied the numerous works of both our middle way and other schools, my mind became tormented evermore, constantly by a network of doubts in the earlier stages. Then finally, met with Arya Nagarjuna's text and Acharya Chandrakirti's text, then I realized emptiness. 49. The night lily grove of Nagarjuna's treatises, the metaphor given is beautiful. So imagine that we all go to enjoy a beautiful garden. The night lily, the lily grove, beautiful garden. And it so happened that when we reach there, it is dark, midnight, no light, midnight, right? Midnight. And then so is there, what are you seeing? I'm not seeing anything. What is actually there? There's a beautiful garden there. This beautiful garden is the metaphor for Arya Nagarjuna's the teachings, emptiness. And then sometimes, although there's no light, but the moon's light. There's no electricity, street lights, but there's the moonlight, and moonlight is full. 15th day, the moonlight is full. Then you can enjoy the beautiful garden. Beautiful garden is the metaphor for Arya Nagarjuna's philosophy of emptiness, which he retrieved of the Buddha's teachings on emptiness. So that beautiful garden was made most beautiful by the moonlight of Acharya Chandrakirti's text. You getting it? Moonlight resembling the Arya Chandrakirti's text, which is a supplement to the middle way. And the beautiful garden resembling Arya Nagarjuna's text, Mula Madhyamaka Karika, fundamental wisdom of the middle way. Okay, so it says 49. The night lily grove of Nagarjuna's treatises, the fundamental wisdom of the middle way, Nagarjuna, whom you the Buddha, prophesied would unravel your unexcelled vehicle, the minor vehicle, as it is, shunning the extremes of existence and non-existence, shunning the two extremes. And this is, one is so beautiful, but illuminated by the garland of the white lights of Chandra meaning Acharya Chandrakirti, his well-uttered insights, Chandra, Acharya, who is Acharya Chandragati, whose stainless wisdom orb is full, whose the wisdom is full, is so full, who glides freely across the scripture space, who dispels the darkness of the extremist hearts and outshines the constellations of the false speakers. When through my teacher's kindness, the teacher here refers to Arya Manjushri, through the teacher's Arya Manjushri's kindness, I saw this, I saw the emptiness. My mind found rest at last. 52. Of all your deeds, your speech is supreme. Of all you the Buddha, your Buddha's deeds, your speech is supreme. And within that too, from the speech, it is this very speech. Which speech? The speech of the wisdom of emptiness and dependent origination. So the wise should remember the Buddha through his teaching of dependent origination. Following such a teacher as the Arya Manjushri and find the Buddha, and having become a renunciate, having studied the conqueror meaning Buddha's words or the teachings not too poorly, this monk, Lama Tsongkhapa, the author, who strives in the yogic practices, such is the depth of his reference to the great seer, the Buddha. 54. So how come that the author, Lama Tsongkhapa, got such a deep reference to the Buddha Shakyamuni? How it happened? Since this is due to my teacher's kindness, Arya Manjushri's kindness, I've met with this teaching of this unexcelled teacher, the Buddha. I dedicate this virtue too towards the cause for all beings like us to be sustained by sublime spiritual mentors. May the teachings of this beneficial one, the Buddha's teachings, the one till worlds and be unshaken by the winds of evil thoughts. May it always be met by the innumerable beings who find conviction in the teacher, the Lama Buddha Shakyamuni, by understanding the teaching's true nature of emptiness. May I never falter, even for life after life, may I never falter, even for an instant, to uphold the excellent way of the sage, explanation of the sage, the Buddha, which illuminates the principle of dependent origination through all my births, even giving away my body and the life. May I spend day and night carefully reflecting by what means can enhance this teaching achieved by the Supreme Savior through strenuous efforts over countless eons. As I strive in this with pure intention, meaning this composition, may Brahma, Indra, and the world's guardians and protectors such as Mahakala unswervingly always assist me. Okay, just this note I made it for the people who read this. You will get the bigger picture. The background of this hymn or this teaching is as follows. Lama Tsongkhapa entreated Arya Manjushri through Lama Umapa. The story I will share with you to confirm whether his understanding of the wisdom of emptiness had fidelity to the Prasangika school's view. Arya Manjushri responded that if Lama Tsongkhapa practiced most ardently with three causal factors, then soon he would have immaculate insight into emptiness. These three causal factors were the fervent supplication to the Guru, perceived as inseparable one with the patron deity. Number 2, serious pursuit of the practice of purification and accumulation of merit. Number 3, consistent studying, reflection, meditation on the authoritative writings on emptiness by the Indian masters. Following his advice, Lama Tsongkhapa, accompanied by a group of students, left for a retreat to a hermitage at Olga. After 11 months of intensive practice, incorporating the three causal factors, he had a profound experience of emptiness. Enveloped in this wonder on the morning of this realization, Lama Tsongkhapa composed this text as an eulogy to the Buddha for having taught the wisdom of emptiness, dependent origination, to liberate the sentient beings from the vicious cycle of samsara. Here, Lama Tsongkhapa emphasizes the efficacy of functionality on the basis of dependent origination in conformity with emptiness. Okay, this English translation is done by Dr. Thupten Jimpa. Okay, done. Okay, I will just quickly read as auspicious gesture to read just the first few verses. In Praise of Dependent Origination by Lama Tsongkhapa, he who speaks on the basis of seeing this makes him knower and the teacher unexcelled. I bow to you, O Conqueror, you who saw dependent origination and taught it. Whatever degenerations there are in the world, the root of all these is ignorance. You taught that it is dependent origination, the thing which will undo this ignorance. So how can an intelligent person not comprehend that this path of dependent origination is the essential point of your teaching. This being so, who will find Savior a more wonderful way to praise you than to praise you for having taught this origination through dependence? Okay, good. So, we are done with 2 texts, and now what we are left with is one is a little bit of bodhicitta, emptiness of the mind or the emptiness of the pain, and then the third tone, the will of Dharma. Okay, now easy, almost done. And then some question answers. Okay, so tomorrow we have 2 sessions in the mornings, then the afternoon we have the sock offering. So tomorrow morning we'll easily finish whatever's left. Okay, we'll turn to the direction prayer. Page 52. Okay. I dedicate the merit thus gathered towards the realization that is in the prayers of the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas of 3 times, and to the upholding of the doctrine, scripture, and insight. May in all lives, to support this merit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahayana vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, preferred in 2 stages. From my 2 collections, vast space that I've amassed, from working with effort in this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds wisdom eyes blinded by ignorance. Deyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhiswaha Tyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhiswaha Tyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhiswaha. Okay, 3 prayers together.